The offseason continues to move forward for the Bruins. That means 4 more years of 48. The Bruins have signed RFA Matt Grzelcyk to a 4-year contract. Here is Grzelcyk on that news.
I feel like it moved relatively quick. I mean, obviously, it was a quite condensed offseason with free agency period and the draft so close together, and teams trying to figure out which direction they're trying to go. So I think it was, being from here and having the opportunity to play for the Bruins means so much to me. So it wasn't more about wanting to bet on myself and try to get the most money possible. I think that I really wanted to, if possible, be locked up for as long as I could. And this is the place that I want to be and the opportunity that I want to have. So for me, I had that mindset of just I wanted to be locked up and have that security and remain in Boston as long as I can.
All right, so a lot of the news in Boston, at least this offseason, has been defensemen leaving, right? Or at least not re-signing. But here's some good news. RFA arbitration will not reach that date. So Matt Grzelcyk, 4 more years in Boston. How does he fit in long-term to the future of this team?
Well, he's becoming more important by the day. I mean, his role is going to become greater no matter what. With Torrey Krug departing, there's going to be a massive hole in their top 4. Zdeno Chara, he's a question mark as well. So Matt Grzelcyk now has a chance to step up in the lineup, in role, in responsibility, in minutes, in quality of competition, and all of it. And he's going to have to be really good. So you heard him talk a lot about security and wanting security and wanting to sign long-term and recognizing this is a place I want to play. It's not about squeezing every last dollar, although, he'll take your $14 million or $50 million, whatever you can get it. But at this point, he's the #1 left shot pair. Alongside Charlie McAvoy.
Are you okay with that top pairing going into the start of next season if a guy like Chara does not come back for whatever reason that may be?
I think so, yes. I mean, I think Charlie McAvoy is a legit #1 defenseman in the NHL, and Matt Grzelcyk and McAvoy have had good results when playing together in short samples previously. I mean, Matt Grzelcyk was a guy who absolutely dominated in third-pair matchups, third-pair situations, third-pair minutes. He had great stats, not just goals and points and assists, but all his underlying numbers, shots and chances and high-danger chances. Just crushed everyone. Now he's going to have to try to do that same thing, stepping up against different kind of competition, different kind of roles, different kind of opportunities, maybe not so many offensive zone starts and not so many starts against the other team's third and fourth lines, but doing it up against the other team's best lines. But he does have Charlie McAvoy with him. Charlie McAvoy is very good in a lot of those regards. And together they had played around 200 minutes together last year, and they put together some pretty good results in that brief period of time. So there is some chemistry there. They go back to Boston the whole bit in college. So if that's their #1 pairing going in, I think the Bruins are okay with that. It's more down below. If Grzelcyk's #1, then who's #2? You'd rather have someone supplant Grzelcyk as the #1 because then he would be really good at a #2.
Are you surprised that we're talking about this at this point with the captain not signed here, at least on like a 1-year, kind of? Well, with the contracts that we used to see with Joe Thornton out in San Jose, 1 year, bringing on back some incentives as far as bonuses go. Why aren't we talking about that right now?
I'm not sure, especially when Krug leaves. Like, if you spend every last cent to keep Torrey Krug around, or if you're able to swing for Pietrangelo or Ekman-Larsson, then you have a massive star, minute-munching, high-profile, high-paid guy. They don't have that right now. They didn't get one of those. And I'm not saying they should have, but they don't have it. So you'd think that there would be room to create something to get Zdeno Chara back. And while we know that the team is changing and they are aging and they're trying to get younger and remain competitive, having Chara around that room while that's going on, even in a lesser role, has great value. And for him to kind of direct the ship, we know some guys are going to be injured early on, to have that experience, that stability, just that presence, both on and off the ice, is something I'm surprised they haven't gotten to. Seems like they're not quite sure who's supposed to initiate the conversation.
Right.
B's are waiting on Z.
That meme. Everybody.
Z's waiting on B. Like, someone may pick up the phone and call him and say, hey, Z, do you want to come back and play?
Who wears the C? You don't have a captain right now.
Listen, come on back. We got something for us if you want to come back. And I'm surprised Zdeno Chara is not signed back because I can't believe he's shopping around to play somewhere else. It just would feel so strange.
Fit.
Given what he's accomplished, everything, like he's won already, to try to chase a cup somewhere. It doesn't seem like a natural thing for him to do. So if he wants to play, and I just figure he's in great shape, he can still do it. There's a need on the team. there's a lot of reasons for it to work itself out. I am surprised we're here and it hasn't been done yet.
The one move they did make was bringing in Craig Smith in free agency.
Like
this is a guy who'll put up 20 goals for you every year. For the Bruins fans out there that maybe don't know who this guy is or what they're getting with him, how do you think he plays into that group up front?
Very, very well, because he's a really good 5-on-5 scorer. And that's what he's going to be asked to do in Boston. He's not in the power play. That first power play unit plays 90 seconds of every 2 minutes, as they should. He won't be out there. But he is an elite level 5-on-5 goal scorer. Like a top 30 goal scorer per minute played over the last 3 years. Now, you wouldn't think Craig Smith would be in that group, but he is. He's ahead of Patrice Bergeron in that category. So, he's not going to he's not flashy, but he's just consistent. And if you look at the guys behind him in goal scoring per minute, Jameson. Look at those. Those are studs.
Those are all stars.
Star players. Yeah. And Craig Smith.
Wow.
And so that's why I love this signing. He's very good defensively. He's not going to hurt you offensively. He chips in 5-on-5. He's a smart player. He plays hard. He plays fast. He plays physical. Can play with good players. Can slide down the roster if that's what you needed him to do. He's going to fit in perfectly to Boston, and is a really smart signing by him. But if David Krejci is able to play most of the games and be healthy, Krejci's such a good playmaker, puck distributor, and he gets to play with DeBrusk and Craig Smith. Craig Smith will get you 20 in 80 games.
You mentioned Jake DeBrusk. Look, this is a team that's up against the cap. They don't have a lot of wiggle room as far as money to spend. Grzelcyk, he's taking up some of that cap room right now. How much does Jake DeBrusk command? Because he's an RFA right now.
Interesting case for Jake DeBrusk, because his stats and his stature on the Bruins probably would warrant on the upper end, as a perennial 20-plus goal scorer on the second line of the best team in the NHL last year in the regular season. That's probably upwards of $4 million last summer. This offseason, we know the world is different, and for a lot of players, they're getting squeezed a little bit when you don't have rights, and maybe it's more like $3 million. At the lower end, given what's happening right now in the marketplace, it's probably closer to Anthony Beauvillier at $2 million. So somewhere between 2 and 4. I don't think he gets to Arvidsson. The Colin White deal, I don't think that's a very good deal, and everyone could want to be like it, but Ottawa probably won't be happy they gave it. Jake DeBrusk is a good offensive player, and I don't want to hear about he's streaky. Every guy who scores 20 goals is streaky. That's how you do it. You get 4 and 10, then you get 0 and 10. I mean, 20 is 20. At the end of the 80 games, you add them up, you get 22, 24. That's your 20-goal score. He plays with energy and jam, and seems to work with Boston. But I think this is a spot where they will squeeze a player that they can squeeze, because they just don't have that much money going around.